Easykart Senior Lights next, and with the championship leader not racing this weekend at Glan Park, one man who's set to benefit big style is Grant Hunter, third in the championship at the moment. We spoke to him earlier about his chances.
Grant, you've been doing Easykart for 8 years. What keeps you coming back?
I think there's three things really. One is, the overall enjoyment factor. It's a great series, a very friendly atmosphere. Everyone, looks out for themselves to make sure everyone can have a race. I think the second thing is it's such a close field. The karts are so close. So you're really competitive racing. And the third thing is value for money. I think in terms of karting, it's probably the best you'll ever get out there, to be fair.
You're currently third in the championship with the championship leader away. Is it your chance to take control?
Well, you'd like to think so, but we'll certainly try my best. But I think Sam's done such a good job in terms of his races this year that even with this drop round, he's still looking good. But opportunity, you've got to take it.
And you finished 5th last season. That's your best finish, I believe. Can you finish in the top 3?
Well, that's certainly. It's looking good. Obviously, third in the championship, as you say. Just got to keep doing what we're doing, and I'd like to think we can finish top 3 at least. That'd be really good.
And your thoughts on the track, the circuit at Glan Gors, a nice fast track for you, and does it suit your tactics?
Absolutely, I love this place. It's a great track. I think Andy refers to it as the Spa of Wales, and I'd agree. It's a great track, definitely worth the visit here, or the time to get here. Suits, I like it. It suits me. I think the tactics for today is just to drive as quickly as possible, obviously. Make sure you don't make any mistakes, but it's quite tricky to overtake, so qualifying will be key. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully have a good day.
So will Grant Hunter leave this round of the championship in the top 2? It's possible. Kieran McCulloch and Richard Evans on the front row. Amy Jurga and Tom Snape on the second, with Welsby, Zaromskas, Collins, Hudman, Stanley and Top in the top 10. Grant Hunter and Patrick Lay are on the catch-up. So too Matthew Pearce, with all 3 of them outside the top 10. Here we go. And through the first corner, Richard Evans takes the early advantage. Great to see him hit the front, but he's going to have a battle up the straight. Kieran McCulloch's going to get straight back through. 2 lead changes in half a straight, pretty much. Absolutely brilliant. Now, Grant Hunter, we ride on board with him. We've already made up a place to our right and shut the door firmly. Now, up the road, that is the 170, I think, of Jonathan Corrie in his rookie season in the championship. Grant Hunter talking about the value for money and how brilliant a championship it is for the quality of racing. Jonathan Corrie right in the mix of a fantastic grid in Senior Lights, and he's learning that firsthand as he has a go up the inside of Elliot Stanley. Didn't quite manage to get the move done, but that's a very worthy attempt in the middle of Devil's Elbow. And still, from the back of the field, we've got the very feisty Matthew Pearce and Grant Hunter fighting their way through as down the inside. 2 in 1 go there as Richard Evans runs in second position. There's still great battling through this field, and after all of that, McCulloch leads, Richard Evans second, Tom Snape is in third, and in 4th position, she'll be getting a nosebleed, she's doing so well, Amy Jurga. We've never seen her up this far through the field. I don't know what it is about Glan Park, or whether it's just that she's hit the sweet spot at the right point in the season. Whatever it is, don't change it, because Amy Jurga right up in the sharp end of the field, on merit and on pure pace. Great to see her towards the front. There's Tom Snape, 3rd position. His best result this season was 9th at the opening round, so to see him in 3rd position is very good indeed as well. So Amy Jurga and Tom Snape on the charge towards their first potential podium of the season, as Snape goes a little bit deep into Spoon, and Amy Jurga, if she'd have been a few kart lengths closer, she would have got into 3rd position there with a very tidy move. Now, let's see, as they come out of the carousel, who's that in 5th position? Well, Patrick Lay has moved up into 7th place now, as behind this battle for 3rd, Snape and Jurga leading the charge in 5th position. I'm just trying to look back as we see 12 minutes on the clock. Well, we're back on board with Grant Hunter. Whoop, there goes the 240 through. So William Top moves up into position. Now he's doing a partial season this year. He missed the 1st and 3rd rounds of the year, and there goes Pearce. Matthew Pearce through on the inside line. Now he's put his hand there over the engine, just sorting out the carb down the straight. It's the only chance to get contact. Jay Hudman and Mantas Zaromskas come together as they chase Patrick Lay, and they tangle at the Spoon curve. Now I want to have another look at that, because that really sorted things out in the mid-pack. Let's look, battling for 6th position, Hudman. Oh, just the tiniest of tags on the rear wheel, and that's all it took. I'd say a racing incident there. He thought there was enough of a gap to go through. but maybe Jay Hudman should have been a little bit more circumspect about trying to get through, because the man in front is allowed to shut the door as Pierce goes on the inside there to move up past William Top. Good move as we ride with Grant Hunter. Ooh, Grant giving him a little bit of a nerf as they go up the Dragon Straight. But maybe Jay Hudman should have realised a little bit sooner. Mantas Saromskas, the door was closing. Kieran McCulloch leading. Second place, still the 7 of Richard Evans. Snape versus Jurga for third position. Kieran McCulloch now leading the championship outright. So he is wanting to consolidate his position, and another win just takes him a step closer to glory. Third last year, looking for the championship this year, and definitely in the right zone to do that. He is romping away here at Glan Park. Richard Evans, it almost looks as if he's dropped anchor behind him as he slowly disappearing. But Patrick Lay has come up to 5th position, while a lot of his other rivals are struggling to move through the field. The likes of Grant Hunter, Matthew Pierce, Mantas Saromskas, all of the top 10 seeds that he's running around. Patrick Lay has stormed his way through into P5 here. There's Ami Jurga now into 4th position still, trying to chase Tom Snape, but Patrick Lay, the reigning champion, is on her tail, and that's going to be tricky. Patrick Lay hasn't done all of the rounds this year, but that doesn't mean he has lost any of his fire. He is still pushing hard as he works his way through Devil's Elbow, down to the final turn. McCulloch, Evans, Snape, Jurga, and then the 1 of Lay in 6th position. That is the 203 of Jonathan Collins, just a whisker in front of Jake Wellesby as they scrap away over 6th position. Back on board with Grant Hunter, and that is Mantas Saromskas in front of us, recovering from that little tussle earlier on with Jay Hudman. So Saromskas down to the hairpin. Hunter's just going for it. Absolutely beautiful move from a billion miles back. He goes and gets the place. I wonder, is Saromskas just being a little bit tentative at the spoon after that little incident earlier on? And Grant Hunter, well, he just zooms up the inside and says, thanks very much, I'll take the place off you. If you don't want it, I'll grab it. So Ami Jurga now in between a rock and a hard place here. 4th position, trying to move into 3rd position with Patrick Lay, the reigning champion, right on her tail. And it looks as though there's a little incident in front. Now, that is the 4 of Pierce battling it out as Grant Hunter gets through. Now, was that Jay Hudman again getting involved in an incident? I think this time he wasn't the guilty party. He might have been the victim that time. As up the inside again, Grant Hunter at the spoon curve. They're going to need to rename this corner at some point if this keeps going, as Grant Hunter is making that turn his own. So up the hill once again, out through the compression complex, the 3rd part of the apex. Here goes Lay up the inside of Ami Jurga, and he gets through. That was a textbook overtaking move at one of the toughest corners in British karting to get through. Very nicely done there from Patrick Lay. He's up to 4th position, and they're trying desperately now to keep in touch with Tom Snape. That overtaking move has dropped them back a little bit. Grant Hunter still fighting away with Matthew Pierce, and it was Jay Hudman that got caught out, the 220. He's now behind both of them, and he'll be hopping mad after that incident earlier on at the spoon and then getting caught out of the final turn. He'll be raving mad if his race doesn't improve soon. So still these two getting together. It looks as if Evans is finally starting to make up the time that he'd originally lost to McCulloch. I wonder if Kieran McCulloch has pushed too early too soon, because now he's got Richard Evans reeling him in through the Devil's Elbow once again, down to the final turn, and Patrick Lay is able to close right up on Snape. Evans pushing so hard. He uses a lot of curb on the outside line, a bit more than any of the other drivers in the top 10. So pushing hard, Hudman trying to get away from his rival from earlier on, Mantas Saromskas. Up the inside, Patrick Lay's going to go for 3rd. He gets Tom Snape at the spoon curve. Very nice overtake there, and that's a move that starts from turn 1. You've got to get the exit of that right and carry the speed all the way up the Dragon Straight, a move that Patrick Lay will have perfected by now. He's not the reigning Easykart Senior Lights champion for nothing. Into 3rd position, he's moved up. Now, what can he, with assistance from Snape and Jurga, he'll be hoping, can he do about the leading 2 carts? From that far back, you would probably guess at this stage very little. It's Elliot Stanley in front of us as we ride on board with Grant Hunter. Is he going to go for it in the last turn? Oh, this boy is unstoppable at the moment. Recovering and fighting his way forward following an unfortunate end to his pre-final. He was 13th across the line despite being the fastest man on track in that race. And now he is showing that that speed has not disappeared. He's just got an awful lot to make up. Now, Evans closing up again on the 3 of Kieran McCulloch, trying to decimate that gap. Snape running in 4th place behind the number 1 Patrick Lay and in front of Ami Jurga. A 5th position for Jurga and a 4th position for Tom Snape. That will be very welcome in both camps coming out of this one, because that will give them a huge confidence injection as they come out of this weekend. They'll really want to ride the crest of that. 6th position, 2:18, going well for Jake Wellesby. Then the 2:03 of Jonathan Collins. And who's next? It's Grant Hunter. Are we about to see yet another sweet overtake up the inside? He's lining him up. He's got good speed. He's going for it. Can he find space on the inside? It's tight, but yes! He's supreme at Spoon Curve. Absolutely mega overtake again from Grant Hunter. That is the Spoon Curve overtaking hat-trick from Grant Hunter. He really is storming the crows round here, and he loves this Glan Park circuit. He knows that he could lead here, second in the championship in terms of points potentially, and he wants it. He's rolling up his sleeves and getting on with it. Up to 7th place, that puts him now, and he's only just a few kart lengths behind Jake Wellesby. And in this sort of form, look, he's already leaving the 2:03 of Jonathan Collins well in his wake. He could move up big style. Here comes Jurga up the inside of Snape. Beautifully done. Shuts the door just in the nick of time. Snape almost got her back again on the undercut, but no. Ami Jurga has been learning so quickly, and she's now in the position where she can genuinely fight for this position with gusto. Back to the inside line. Snape still holding on round the outside, trying to tuck in for the inside. No, Ami Jurga learned from the Patrick Lay move. I'm not going to give him enough space to get the chance. So McCulloch, Evans, well again, very wide there on the exit of the curb there for Evans. A lot wider than other drivers. If he's not careful, he might get a penalty for track limits as the number 4 of Pierce goes very wide there. Going to be very careful, Evans. He's using a lot more of the road than the other drivers in the top 5, and of course a lot of the rules from track limits have tightened up in recent years in karting, so he's got to be careful. It's all about whether he gains an advantage from doing so. That's the key. So up the inside, is that a good move? Oh, not quite. The 2:03 Jonathan Collins has to back out of that attempted overtake there, and that was very, very close call. He almost managed to collect the 279 of Elliot Stanley as he went for the move on the inside. A little further back behind now as we've got Hudman and Zaromskas trying to throw their weight into the battle. Great tussle between these 4. Stanley in front of Collins. So he's made that overtaking move very recently. Then it's Hudman and Zaromskas. Back to the leaders. McCulloch absolutely serene in front. Evans was gaining ground a little bit earlier on, but now Patrick Lay is closing up big time. I did wonder, with only a few minutes to go, was he going to be able to do anything about it? Yes, he is. There's just over 3 minutes left of this race, and Patrick Lay is ripping up this racetrack, trying to move his way onto the back of Richard Evans, and he's going to get there. He's only got maybe 1 or 2 laps more of this on pace. He's going to be with Richard Evans here. 6th position, still Wellesby, but not for long. Grant Hunter's reeling him in. Oh, and that's an off. Now that's the 285, that's David Darling. Disappointing to see him off the racetrack. He's going to rejoin, but that's dropped him a long way back. 2nd position still up for grabs. Richard Evans being caught by the reigning champion. It's disappointing not to see Patrick Lay out for all the meetings of this year, because you have to suggest that if he was doing a full campaign, he probably would be in the championship fight, but he's only done the first round of the championship, then took 3 rounds away, and ironically enough, he's come back at the round that Sam Faulkner has decided not to race, because he has other commitments elsewhere. So Faulkner not being here, Patrick Lay's got an opportunity to take a final victory off him. Grant Hunter getting so close to the back of Wellesby, and we ride on board with him here. Wellesby's having a park campaign as well, because he only did the 2nd and 4th rounds prior to this weekend. Now is he going to go for it again up the inside? Wellesby gives him as little room as possible, and still Grant Hunter gets the job done. Amazing. And now Patrick Lay has not only caught Richard Evans, he's got through. I didn't see where he made the move, but somehow Patrick Lay has moved up at a 2nd position past Richard Evans. So it looks to me as though Patrick Lay is more than a match for Richard Evans. He's already got him. 4th position now, Jurga, as we know, in front of Snape. And Patrick Lay has the nerve to get past Richard Evans and down the Dragon Straight. Signal to him, come on, help me. We can catch Kieran McCulloch. Well, I'm not sure you can, actually, Patrick, as good a driver you are, but there's only 1 minute 20 on the clock. I would estimate we've only probably got 3 more laps in the tank here. Up the hill, Richard Evans hasn't given up on Patrick Lay. He's still trying to find some space to him. Through the compression complex, down to the Devil's Elbow again. Up through the left, through the right. The cart bottoms out midway through that. You've got to be so careful. The cart can occasionally snap away from you there. But Lay and Evans know exactly what to do. Jurga and Snape still battling over fourth place. Jurga pulling out a bit of a gap now in fourth position. McCulloch still driving fine. Lay in second, Evans in third. Seems to me as though Patrick Lay has got more straight line speed, or at least he's faster off the turns than Richard Evans. But in the corners, Richard Evans is meteoric in terms of his braking points. He seems to gain a lot of ground that he loses just in the braking zones. So it's kind of stalemate between those boys in second and third place, as Kieran McCulloch is going to cross the line with, about a dozen seconds or so on the clock. And that will take us into the penultimate lap of the race here at Glan Park. Yeah, 13 on the clock as he crosses the line. And into the penultimate lap goes Kieran McCulloch up the Dragon Straight. It almost looks as if he's waving to the guys behind him. He's probably just looking back to make sure they're not quite on his tail, but his arm was up in here as well. It was almost as if to say, see you later, alligators. You're not getting this one off me, buccos. Out of the spoon curve, Patrick Lay still running in second position. Kieran McCulloch, an absolute giant crusher of a performance this is. Patrick Lay in second, Evans in third, but he's not done yet, because Evans is still closing up. He's so good in the corners, Richard Evans. Patrick Lay is very quick in a straight line, and he's very quick on the traction out of a corner. But Evans through the corners, and certainly at the braking zones, he's able to make a lot of ground on Patrick Lay. We go into the last lap, and is there a chance? Is there a slight window of opportunity for Richard Evans to get through? I would probably say now, I'm afraid not. McCulloch is leading into the spoon curve. He's driven an absolute masterclass performance. Patrick Lay, though, I take my hat off to you, sir. You fought back from the mire, including having a 4-place penalty in the last race. He was 8th on the road, came home 12th, and has fought back to second position. In fact, we're actually hearing that there might be a penalty for Richard Evans. A 2-place penalty for Richard Evans. No idea what that's for. I certainly haven't seen him do anything untoward. But if that is true, that will put Ami Jurga on the podium. We'll look back and get confirmation as McCulloch blisters round the track, gets the victory. Lay second, and third position is Evans, but Jurga crosses the line in fourth in front of Tom Snape. Then it is the 5 of Grant Hunter. Fantastic drive from him. But I think Richard Evans is going to be handed a penalty here. I have no idea what it's for, and I certainly couldn't tell you why he would have got it, as Mata Saromskas frustrated over the line. But yes, Evans, a 2-place penalty, and that promotes Ami Jurga to the podium. Patrick Lay in second, Kieran McCulloch the winner. Snape is fourth from Evans, Hunter, Wellesby, Pierce 8th, Stanley 9th, and Jonathan Collins 10th.
Kieran, now you phoned me up in a week saying, I'm really not well, I'm not sure I'm going to make it this weekend. Well, I sort of am, but I'm not going to do much practice. I need Barnaby to run in my engine for me and everything like that. She turned up feeling quite poo, and look what's happened.
It's a bit of a turnaround, isn't it? I spent the entire week in bed, pretty much just resting and sleeping, and felt terrible, had flu, and to come here and have a bit of luck really in the final like that has been it's been lovely. Bit of a turnaround.
Absolutely, great turnaround. No, but you were certainly on form today. I mean, Ella Park was not a good round for you because I know you were struggling with performance, but you certainly got the kart working here today, and your mechanic as well. Who's your mechanic?
My mechanic, he's not bad actually. He's an old hand called, I've forgotten his name, Barnaby Pittingale, world champion. And we've got the kart working. Annie Cox got the engine working eventually. And it's been a good weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is okay. So now you feel that you've got the engine running how you want it. Down into the business end of the season, we're moving swiftly on to Clay Pigeon in August. And tell me about Clay. Is that one of yours?
That's Clay's normally my favourite circuit, so we will see. I mean, last year I managed to mess it up, so let's hope I don't do it this year. But I like it very much. So look forward to another good race.
Well, fantastic. Well done indeed, Kieran, again. And so we look forward to you coming back to Clay Pigeon. Can you do your maths? You're a wizard mathematician. What's the championship standings now after today's race? Any ideas?
No, I think Sam's still be leading. He was so far in front, but hopefully a bit closer now. Hopefully give him a bit of a race now.
While the cat's away, the mice came out to play. These are the overall standings with all the points, but when you take drop scores into account, it will be Sam Faulkner who leads going to the next round of the championship. So they've all got something to fight for. Next up, the Masters.